Good evening, and welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Bayonne Zoning Board of Adjustments. Secretary Lombardi, please call the roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner DeRoss?
Here.
Commissioner Sisk Galvin?
Here.
Commissioner Frayne?
Here.
Commissioner Elgari is out. Commissioner Garvey?
Here.
I'm here, and Chairman Pinero.
Here. Having no quorum, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Regarding open public meeting and the Act of Sunshine Law, this regular meeting of the City of Bayonne. Thank you. This regular meeting of the City of Bayonne Zoning Board of Adjustments has complied with the Open Public Meetings Act Sunshine Law. Annual notices of the scheduled regular meetings were published in the Booth Jersey Journal and the Star Ledger newspaper. The schedule of regular meetings for the calendar year 2026 is filed with the City Clerk's office. A copy of the agenda of tonight's meeting is posted on the bulletin board in the lobby of the municipal building and on the City of Bayonne's website. Adoption, there any amendments?
The minutes.
The minutes, I'm sorry.
At this time.
We will carry the adoption of the minutes till the next meeting then, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Council, do we have any communications?
We have a communication, but I don't think that it's relevant at this point because it was a letter from Mr. Weeks to carry SRL from the January meeting to the February meeting. But that meeting wasn't held because of inclement weather. So Mr. Weeks, I believe, re-noticed for this meeting, and it's on the agenda for tonight. While we're on that matter, Mr. Weeks, do you want to make an application with regard to Z25-006, SRL Realty, Mike Napa, 78 West 16th Street, Block 245, Lot 33?
I do. I'd like, excuse me, we discussed this matter prior to the meeting, and I'd like to adjourn this matter with the consideration that we may be converting the application to a use variance as opposed to moving forward with a certificate of nonconformity. Based on the report that we received, we think that's the wise choice.
Okay, so you want to carry that to the April meeting, which is?
Mr. Campusano, would the matter be carried if it would be a submission of new information and go through completeness review?
It wouldn't be, but I believe Mr. Weeks is contemplating whether or not he's got permission from his client to do so. So I think he just wants to carry it, and he's going to make a decision in the future as to which way he's going to go. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think that's the prudent move at this point. Thank you.
So
April.
Mr. Weeks is making a request to carry this matter to April 20th, 2026, without further notice on the part of the applicant. Can I get a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion to move the application to April 20th's meeting.
I'll second.
And for a vote, we're going to go with Commissioner DeRoss,
Aye.
Commissioner Sisk Galvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Frayne,
Aye.
Commissioner Garvey.
Aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Pinero.
Yes, we have an adoption of the Zoning Board of Adjustments Annual Report for the calendar year 2024 pursuant to the appropriate statute. What we do with that is we forward it to the Planning Board so that they know what the board has been doing and what the areas that we've been dealing with, so that they can keep that as part of the record in the event that the master plan is ever needed to be changed or zoning ordinances needed to be changed. So can I get a motion and a second to approve the annual report of the zoning board?
I make a motion to move the annual report.
I'll second it. And for a vote, Commissioner DeRoss?
Aye.
Commissioner Galvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Frayne?
Aye.
Commissioner Garvey?
Aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Panero.
Aye.
Mr. Labari, I think we move on to the next public hearing on the agenda.
That's correct. This is for public hearing Z26001, Alicia and David Lascanzi.
Lashanzi.
Lashanzi. Excuse me. Site 115 Avenue C, Block 355, Lot 25.
At this point, Ms. Lashanzi is going to step down from the board as the secretary, and Mr. Weeks is going to make the application.
Thank you, members of the board. Paul Weeks, on behalf of Alicia and David Lashanzi. As you can see from the application, this is a use variance requesting permission to convert a two-family home to a three. I intend to call one witness, although if the board has questions for the homeowner, Ms. Lashanzi is present. But hopefully our expert will be all the testimony that you need. I would move exhibit list A1 through A23 into evidence and call my first witness, Al Sambade from DAL Design Group.
Evening. I do. Al Sambade, S-A-M-B-A-D-E.
I would ask that Mr. Sambade be recognized as a qualified expert.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Good
Thank you.
evening, Mr. Sambade.
Evening, Mr. Weeks.
Mr. Sambade, for the benefit of the board, I'd ask that you discuss the nature of the application based on the title and information sheet, the proposed interior alterations and changes in use that were submitted. And I would ask that you address the issues of concern from Brian Slough from Clark, Catton and Hintz, and their report dated February 19th, 2026.
Sure. So, Commissioners, this is an application. The property is at 115 Avenue C. It is located at the southwest corner of Avenue C and West 4th Street. It is a corner lot with 52 feet of frontage on Avenue C and 105 feet plus on West 4th Street. The lot is 5,500 square feet in size. The existing condition of the property, and you can see that on the drawing, there are several photographs that depict the property. So it is a 3-story plus basement, two-family residence. It has 3 full residential levels. Apartment 1 is the first floor off grade. Apartment 2 comprises the second and third floor. Apartment 1 has 1 bedroom. Apartment 2 has 4 bedrooms and 2 kitchens. Properties in the R2 zoning district, and we're proposing that the property be allowed to be used as a 3-family. That's why we're before this board. The application has minimal interior work, absolutely no site work involved or proposed. There is one additional item that discussed with the property owner, the applicant, after the submittal of the plans, and it is this. The applicant is an avid gardener and would be interested in installing a gardening shed in the rear yard area in full compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements, including offsetting any impervious coverage increase. And otherwise, no exterior work would be contemplated. If the board acts favorably in this, then we would reflect this change in resolution approval, resolution compliance drawings, which would be reviewed by the board's experts, the city engineer and the zoning officer. So that's the only additional item if the board would be willing to consider it. So the building, as shown on the floor plans, as I said, there's very minimal work. There's a basement area, it's existing to remain, no work at all proposed. The first floor, which is existing Unit 1, no work at all. It consists of 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, living and dining room. The second floor, which is existing Unit number 2, there will be partitions constructed that separate that floor from the third floor. And that is the extent of work on that floor. Partitions that will create a hallway leading to the third floor, to the stair that goes to the third floor. The third floor, no work is proposed. There are 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, and a living room. So there's really only work on the second floor to create a passage, a connection to the third floor, a separate code-compliant connection. Just by way of background on the property, and in your application package, you have a couple of old Sanborn maps from 1898 rather, 1912. These are, as the board knows, fire insurance maps, and they clearly depict the structure as it is today, matching exactly what our current property survey shows. On the property, it calls it out as a 3-story building, so it has been there for well over 100 years. And it hasn't changed much. The area around it has changed. If you note on some of these maps, there are very few properties that were developed and had homes on it. Obviously, that's changed, and some of these areas in this immediate vicinity on Newman, Zabriskie, Avenue C, and so on, they were large tracts of land that over these 100-plus years had been subdivided into what we know today. So the property clearly predates the establishment of zoning in Bayonne. Zoning did not exist in Bayonne in 1912. Personally, I grew up in the area, so I have a personal recollection of this property. I made a lot of runs to Steve's ShopRite for my mother, so I've been there quite often. The surrounding area generally consists of 1- and 2-family homes, interspersed with some low-intensity multifamily uses, higher-intensity multifamily uses about a block to the north and on Avenue C, commercial uses, and as well as some municipal uses, a firehouse. The immediate area is dominated by the BCB Community Bank, Henry Harris School, and the 4th Street Firehouse. The residential lot sizes vary significantly, again, probably due to the evolution over time of subdividing properties and developing properties. We've received a report from Clark Caton Hintz, prepared by Brian Slough and Donna Miller, and the board clearly and comprehensively reviews the scope of the project, identifies variances, and discusses for the board's benefit the consideration of the criteria for the variances, which I'll address in testimony. We have no issues with any of the other comments in the report. So really, this is a planning application, since we're not really proposing any significant work. So as part of that, we have a number of bulk variances. All of these are pre-existing nonconformities. Front yard setback permitted is 20 feet, existing is 17 plus. The number of stories permitted is 35 feet, 2.5 stories. The existing is 37.5 feet and 3 stories. But again, that's been there for well over 100 years. So these pre-existing nonconformities, again, predate the establishment of zoning by at least 75 years. There's nothing that's proposed in this application that would increase any impact that's related to these standards. If this house was being taken down and built up again, different story. But these variances cannot be eliminated, cannot be mitigated, cannot be addressed in any way without demolishing the existing house. And obviously that would bring an undue hardship upon the owner to reach some compliance. So these variances are justified under the C1 criteria in the municipal land use law. There's also a parking variance. So there are 2 spaces existing, and 4 spaces are required per the language in the zoning ordinance. So this building obviously has functioned for many years with 2 parking spaces, although the zoning ordinance requires the existing development, the 2-bedroom plus 4-bedroom, to have 3 parking spaces. We have 2, so that's a pre-existing nonconformity. If we apply it to the proposed condition, it would be 4 parking spaces because of the number of units. But the zoning ordinance has a parking requirement up to 3 bedrooms. We have a 4-bedroom unit here. There's no standard for that. We would imagine it's more than a 3-bedroom. So in reality, the change in the parking requirement is fairly level. There's really no significant change. There's no impactful increase in the population of this house, since there are 6 bedrooms in the existing and proposed conditions. So you would argue that the number of people living in the house, if we go by bedrooms, would remain essentially the same. So this is really a de minimis exception on parking, and it's mitigated by the proximity of mass transit in the immediate area. New Jersey Transit is a 1-block walking distance, New Jersey Transit bus. The Hudson Bergen Light Rail is a 4-block walking distance. So really, it comes down to the D variances, and these other variances are carried along on the coattails of the D1 variance, which obviously is to use the property as a 3-family home, where 2-family homes are permitted. So in analyzing this, we took a look at the immediate surrounding area and studied it. It generally consists of 1- and 2-family homes, some multifamily, commercial, and municipal uses. So I'm focusing only on residential uses, so I've taken out of this analysis municipal uses, obviously, commercial uses, BCB, schools, and so on. So only with regard to residential properties within the neighborhood. So we want to determine whether this would be consistent with the development in the area. And based on a couple of things, visual analysis, obviously, either whether you're familiar with the property or not, just the visual eye test is important. Review of tax maps and tax records, other documentation, and all this for the purpose of assessing the impact of this proposal as relates to the immediate neighborhood and any potential impact on intensity, which is really what zoning is a measure of. So we focused on the immediately adjacent areas, both sides of Avenue C, north and south of the property, and West 4th Street on the south side to Zabriskie, and on the north side to Newman. We've tried to keep this as conservative an analysis as possible. That's why properties along the parallel streets, Zabriskie or Newman, we didn't consider those because those are much smaller lots that have 2-family homes on it. So that would skew the numbers in our favor. So we wanted to keep this as conservative as possible. So the first analysis is density. So lot sizes, residential lot sizes in the surrounding area, they vary from approximately 1,280 square feet to 5,880 square feet. This property is one of the largest residential tracts in this area that we studied. Under current zoning, a 2-family dwelling, a new 2-family dwelling on a 3,000 square foot lot has a density of 29 units per acre. A conforming 2-family on a corner lot, 4,000 square foot corner lot, has a density of 21.8 units per acre. Analyzing this entire area, which is 50 residential properties in the immediate vicinity of the subject property, has an average density of 22.5 dwelling units per acre, less than what zoning would permit otherwise, and well below the 29 units per acre standard. Individual densities of lots vary from 8 dwelling units per acre for a 1-family on a 2-family on a small lot, a 1-family on a large lot, to 68 dwelling units per acre on a 2-family on a small lot, for example, some of the homes on Zabriskie. So in comparison to these underlying existing conditions, the subject property currently has a density as a 2-family of just under 16 dwelling units per acre, well below either the zoning standard, well below the surrounding development pattern. If the board approves this application, the 3-family density would increase to a little over 23 dwelling units per acre, approximately what the underlying density is. So we feel that And again, this is taking a conservative approach. So it's consistent with the density in the area. As I mentioned earlier, although it's not a zoning standard in Bayonne or in many places, I don't think it's unreasonable to consider the number of bedrooms in a proposed development as an indicator of the potential density of population, the people that you would bring into the area, and that there might be an impact resulting from that. In this case, again, 6 bedrooms are there now. 6 bedrooms will be there after, if the board approves. So my conclusion, opinion, is that the proposal is consistent with the existing density in the immediate area of the property, results in no injury to zoning, and is consistent with the surrounding development pattern when viewed, again, from a conservative approach. Since there are no exterior improvements proposed, the building will appear the same as it has for more than 100 years. And obviously, from the building appearance, the impact, the visual impact, my conclusion is that there is none at all. The only possibility is that should the building department, for example, require an improvement such as a fire escape, then that would not detrimentally impact the appearance of the property or provide any impact in the neighborhood. I've reviewed the 2017 master plan reexamination, and I feel that the application is consistent with the 2017 master plan. That master plan reviews the 2000 master plan, and it calls for detached attached residential district, which is this district, to maintain the existing density for detached attached residential within interior blocks to 15 to 35 units per acre. We meet that standard. On the housing side, to preserve the residential character of the neighborhood wherever possible, we meet that standard. To provide a broad range of housing needs to meet the needs of all residents, we meet that standard. To encourage development of housing that is affordable to younger couples and families seeking to remain in or move to the city, we feel that this application is consistent with this original recommendation. In the 2017 plan, there were specific recommendations, and as to land use, was that and I'm quoting, for existing residential neighborhoods, the recommendation is to protect and preserve the size, scale, and character of existing residential neighborhoods by eliminating the encroachment of commercial and multifamily uses in the area. Recommendation is to maintain lower density development regulations in existing residential neighborhoods that do not abut against commercial properties. Again, this application is consistent. We're not taking a 5,000 square foot lot, although I'd be happy to, and coming before a board and asking to do a larger multifamily building. We're asking to keep the same building that's been there forever and utilize it as a 3-family, and therefore I think it's consistent with the recommendation. The 2000 master plan foresaw in its vision of the future, I know it's going back a number of years, but they foresaw an increase in population driven largely by Hudson Bergen light rail transit system and the need to house this increasing population. So this application, again, supports that, that objective of the master plan. The application promotes the basic purposes of zoning outlined in the municipal land use law, in that it promotes municipal action by this board, to guide the appropriate use or development in a manner that will promote the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. To provide adequate light, air, and open space. We're not changing anything, so, and this is a small lot with oversized setbacks for the most part on a large lot. To promote the establishment of appropriate population densities that will promote the well-being of persons, communities, and regions. Again, this application is consistent with the character of the neighborhood in terms of use, quality, without increasing the impact of density and population. So my opinion, therefore, obviously, is leaning toward that this is consistent with all of these items, and we just really need to address the negative criteria. So in my opinion, the application meets the negative criteria demonstration that these variances can be granted without substantial detriment to the public good or general welfare. To be honest, I can find none. I don't think there's a balance there. I think there is absolutely no detriment to it. Normally, we would ask you to balance the positives and the negatives on that. The proposal is consistent with the development in the area. It doesn't impact adjoining properties, since the building, again, remains the same it has been for many years. The granting of the variances will not result in substantial detriment to the intent and purpose of the zone plan and the zoning ordinance, and it harms it in no way. And that there's a balance from the benefits of the project, as outlined in my testimony, to any detriments, and again, I find it difficult to find any. The public interest is served to some extent by supporting the master plan vision to provide housing for an increasing population. In this instance, again, we're not proposing demolishing the structure and building a multi-story, multifamily on a significantly larger footprint, just a three-family home. And again, I feel any detrimental impacts have been addressed and justified, but again, I find it difficult to find any. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my direct testimony. I'll take any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Mr. Sambay. Any commissioners have a question for Mr. Sambay?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. First of all, thank you for addressing the fire escape possible issue. I appreciate that. 'Cause
Sure.
It was a question I was going to ask. And just touch base on one thing. You mentioned the gardening shed. Is that going to be like a permanent structure?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be constructed.
It's going to be constructed or a kit that's put together. It's not something on a foundation. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Perfect, thank you.
It's a garden shed.
Any others? Yes.
Are there separate gas and electric meters for that unit?
There will be,
You're planning on installing that?
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions here for Mr. Sambay? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Professionals there?
So our only comment is just making sure that the zoning table gets updated.
Yes.
It currently says that it's 2.5 stories, whereas the existing dwelling is 3 stories.
Correct.
And I did notice you mentioned the existing height is 37.6 feet.
Mhm.
So just updating that in the proposed column as well.
Got it.
So those are our only 2 comments.
Got it. And we'll address that in the resolution compliance
Perfect.
to
And
the
yeah,
board.
thank you.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Sambay.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on one second. We haven't opened it up if anybody in the audience wants to ask Mr. Zambade any questions.
No one.
Seeing none?
Thank you.
Thank you, members of the board. I think Mr. Sambade covered everything quite nicely. I would ask that the board approve the application for the use variance. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. At this time, the board will go into a closed caucus, and we'll come up with a vote. Okay? Mr. Lombardi, you want to start off here?
Sure, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. Sembe touched all the bullet points that I needed to hear, so I appreciate that. And I definitely don't see any negative criterias in this, so I will be in favor of this application.
Commissioner DeRosa?
I have no issues with this application. I'll be in favor.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sis Galvin?
I have no issues with the application. On the planner's report, it is noted that Joseph Coghlan, the fire subcode official, has indicated that any approval should be subject to installing the railings on the stairs and registering to the state housing and fire prevention. So that would be a condition of approval.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Commissioner?
No comments. I would be supportive of this application.
Yes, Commissioner?
I'll definitely be in approval of this.
Thank you. After reviewing the documentation and listening to the experts' comments and also descriptions of the improvements on the home, I don't see anything other than being a positive impact for the community, and with that, I would be in favor of the application.
Okay, the application has been approved.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
You need to
sorry.
vote.
I'm sorry.
Come out of closed caucus, and we'll have a vote. Okay?
Okay, so
Really has been.
for an approval on Z26001, Site 115 Avenue C, Block 355, Lot 25, in the affirmative, Commissioner DeRoss?
Aye.
Oh. I'm sorry. Can,
Okay. I move Z-2.
Second.
and for an approval, Commissioner DeRoss?
Aye.
Commissioner Sis Galvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Frame?
Aye.
Commissioner Garvey?
Aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Panero?
Aye.
For the record, the correct block number is 353. Was a little slight typo on that one. Block 353, lot 25 for the record.
I thought you corrected it, Alicia.
Correct?
All right, let's move on to number 8. Lou, you want me to do
Okay,
it?
so, I got it. So for the public hearing of Z 25003, Advent 31 LLC, Site 34-36, East 31st Street, Block 159, lots 26 and 27.
Good evening, members of the board. Paul Weeks on behalf of Advent 31 LLC, application Z25003. Again, this is a use variance, and I have one witness, Steve Kowalik of Kowalik and Kowalik Architects, and that is my only planned witness. I don't have my exhibit list. If let me see. And I would move exhibits A1 through A24 into evidence and call my first witness, Steve Kowalik.
I do. Stephen Kowalik, Kawalek.
Accept, Mr. Koala.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Kowalik. For the benefit of the board, I'd ask you to address the nature of the application, your drawings dated March 28th, 2025, as well as the planning report dated February 16th, 2026, and the issues raised in that report. Thank you.
Happy to do so. Good evening, everyone. The subject property is an oversized lot, 50 feet by 180 feet in size, located at 34 to 36 East 31st Street in the R2 zone. It's currently occupied by an existing non-conforming four-family dwelling situated toward the front of the lot and a large freestanding garage structure at the rear. In between is an expanse of asphalt, which results in a lot almost completely covered by structures and paving. The applicant seeks to demolish those structures and paving in order to construct a new multiple dwelling containing 8 apartments with parking for 10 cars, along with an excess of new open space and landscaping. The applicant seeks use variance relief along with bulk variance relief for height and stories, lot coverage, and curb cut width. The proposal complies with relevant bulk standards for maximum height in feet, minimum lot size, minimum lot width, minimum front yard, minimum rear yard, minimum side yard, and minimum parking. It also provides bicycle parking, EV connectivity, and open space, none of which are required in the R2 zone. The proposed structure would include a ground floor containing a small lobby and a garage for 10 cars, including 1 accessible parking stall, 3 EV make-ready stalls, trash storage, and meter rooms. It's important to note that while the ground floor is served by a grade-level garage door in the front, due to the slope of the site, by the time we reach the rear of the building, the garage floor is more than 5 feet below grade. The garage would be mechanically ventilated at the rear of the building, and at the rear of the site is proposed an oversized landscaped rear yard accessible either through the garage or from the side yards. Above the garage, the proposal depicts 2 floors of 4 apartments each, and above those, a small half-story at the front of the building, which includes a small amenity room and feeds onto a roof deck containing 8 private terraces. The terraces are set back roughly 4.5 feet from the building's edge in order to ensure privacy for both residents and neighbors. All the apartments contain 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, have separate laundry facilities and other customary appointments, and require a total parking allotment of 10 cars, which is provided. All mechanical condensers are located on the roof within each unit's private terrace area. The building is designed to present a residential appearance to the street with a gable roof, residential finish materials such as composite siding, aluminum detailing, railed balconies, and an overall height that is in keeping with the other structures on the block. And I hope our rendering and the contextual height diagram serve to make this clear. The need for a height variance is born solely of a peculiarity in the city's ordinance, which does not count the garage level as a story for 1 or 2 family dwellings, but does count it for other types of structures. So if this were a 1 or 2 family house, it would be considered 2.5 stories exactly as presented, but because it's not, it's considered 3.5 stories. This is a technical distinction, but not one that has any physical impact in the sense that we would normally look at height limitations as relating to access to natural light, ventilation, or other physical impacts on neighboring properties. If this were a 2-family house, it could be exactly the same height and massing as what's proposed, and we would not be here tonight. That would be a comically large 2-family house. To get a little more specific, in the R2 zone, we measure the height of sloped roofs to the average roof height, roughly the center of the slope. In the proposed design, at the front of the building, the average roof height hits the 35-foot maximum exactly. At the rear, that same point is only 29.5 feet above the rear grade, while the parapet is less than 28 feet above the rear grade. That's at the rear of the building. That higher portion where the half story is only extends back for a short distance on the top, above the roof. So these measurements are either at or below the allowable height. While the top of the roof reaches a height of 40 feet 6 inches, as our diagram shows, neighboring houses top out at 37, 39, and 42 feet. So we've tried to ensure that the proposed structure will blend in well, not stand out visually in terms of its size and massing. The lot coverage variance is de minimis in nature with a shortage of only 23 square feet. We could potentially eliminate this with some minor modifications to the building's foundation and increase our pervious area slightly. The variance for curb cut width with 14 feet requested instead of 10 will facilitate access to the garage entrance, and due to its positioning along with the elimination of the existing curb cut, will not result in the loss of any on-street parking. I do believe that due to the oversized nature of the lot, the site is particularly suited to the proposed use, and that it does satisfy the positive and negative criteria. At 9,000 square feet, it is fully triple the minimum lot size for the district of 3,000 square feet. It's far too large for a single house, yet not wide enough to be divided into 2 lots that would meet the minimum standard for lot width. While the site already contains a multifamily dwelling, the fact that it can accommodate additional units, along with their required parking, open space, and other features without exceeding a bulk massing that would otherwise be acceptable, speaks well to the suitability of the site for this use. Further to the positive criteria, I believe the proposal advances some of the purposes of zoning, including encouraging municipal action, providing adequate light, air, and open space, and providing a desirable visual environment. Likewise, I believe the proposal satisfies the negative criteria insofar as it does not represent a substantial detriment to the public good, nor does it impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan. The R2 district has no requirements for density or floor area ratio, but if we were to compare it to districts that do have such requirements, we would find that what is proposed does not fall outside otherwise acceptable ranges, with a calculated FAR of 1.95 and a density of 40 units per acre. In zones that do regulate those characteristics, we would see floor area ratios of more than double what is proposed and densities that are as much as quadruple what is proposed. So while this is indeed not a 2-family house, it's nowhere near as intensive or impactful as developments in other areas of the city. There is a multifamily dwelling only a block away, almost in almost the exact same position on the block on East 32nd Street, which is larger but exhibits similar bulk and density characteristics. Other than that one building, I found no multiple dwellings of similar size and scale for at least 5 blocks in either direction. So I believe the proposal does satisfy a need for low-rise, small-scale multifamily housing, which is distinct from larger multifamily buildings or mixed-use buildings in other districts, which are not desirable for many occupants. So in approving the relief being sought tonight, I do see an outcome that is beneficial to the larger community. While the planner's report correctly points out that the master plan does recommend eliminating multifamily uses from residential neighborhoods, the master plan also promotes the creation of medium-density residential in areas around major north-south streets, with density levels of 35 to 44 units per acre, with proximity to commercial and access to mass transit. So with the subject property situated around 200 feet from Avenue E, about 400 feet from commercial uses on Broadway, 3 blocks from the 34th Street light rail, and with the proposed density firmly within the stated limits, the proposal satisfies all of those criteria, aligning it with another stated objective of the master plan. For this and the other reasons I've already stated, I believe the benefits to an approval tonight clearly outweigh the detriments. The applicant would also like to convey their willingness to comply with any and all plan comments and conditions of approval suggested in the planning and engineering reports. These include adding balcony and entrance door lighting and details, providing color and finish and proposed lighting fixtures, working with planning and engineering staff with regard to landscaping recommendations, updating the existing site plan to include landscaping to be removed, updating the proposed site plan to include mulch bed lines, adding additional utility information to the site plans, including additional connection details and specifying utility connections with respect to proposed street trees, providing additional information with respect to existing and proposed stormwater management, adding details for the proposed exterior stairwell between the garage and rear yard and related retaining wall, including required drainage and guardrails, providing additional grading information along the side yards, ensuring ADA-compliant cross slopes at the public right-of-way, revisions to curb, pavement striping, and tree staking details, working with engineering staff on EV make-ready parking arrangement, and any required lot consolidation. Any other plan comments or suggested conditions of approval contained in either report that I may have omitted are also acceptable to the applicant. And with that, I hope the board will look favorably on the application.
Any board members have a question? Mr. Clark?
On your drawings, you list 2 bathrooms in most of the apartments. One shows a bathroom with sink, water closet, and a tub. The second bathroom just says bath. Is that a half bath, a full bath?
So that's, yeah, this is a full bath, master bath.
Okay, it's there. What type of heating or air conditioning is there?
So the building's proposed to be all electric, so there would be heat pump systems, ductless mini split systems that would provide both heating and cooling, their air source heat pumps.
Looking at your drawings, basically the parking area, so you have water in a sprinkler area, so you have a fire suppression system, but you didn't have anything for the heating or air conditioning, no area dedicated to that.
Well, right, so we just need so we have a directly adjacent to water and sprinkler, we have a space that's labeled electrical. That would be where our electrical service comes in. And that's really all we need.
And you have recycle bins and regular bins, so you're having a catering company come in and remove these items?
Correct. They would most likely be served by a company that would empty the dumpsters on a scheduled basis.
Okay, thank you.
Any other commissioners? Any other commissioners with questions? Building experts,
Thank you. Just to reiterate about the street trees, if you're not going to be able to plant them because of the overhead cables, you will make a donation to the, a contribution to the city's tree fund?
That's acceptable.
And there'll be enough space in the garage to address the parking requirements that are commented on in the engineering
I believe so.
report? Okay, thank you.
I have a question. I just have one more
Oh,
question.
I just have
Mr.
a
Chairman.
few questions. So just for our general plan comments, just confirming, will the mechanical equipment be located on the roof?
Yes.
And the location of the utility meters, they will be mounted of the exterior of the building?
Right now, they're proposed to be inside the garage area.
And regarding the garage ventilation, so we noticed that the second sheet of the site plan says, provide through-wall active ventilation in this area. We're just wondering if there's enough space between the grade to the top of the roof, and if you'll have enough room, if that's enough adequate area for the fresh air intake, and if it's enough separation from the exhaust, or whether additional venting may be required on the roof.
There's about 3 feet separation from the grade and the ceiling of the garage, so that should be sufficient to, if we have to split it into more than one fan, we'll have plenty of room to work with there.
And regarding landscaping, you are willing to work with our recommendations. We know that some of the plant materials were not suited, and we have some recommendations if,
That's fine.
okay. And that's everything. Thank you.
I just have one question, Mr. Chairman. The parking is designated per apartment?
It could be. I mean, there's 8 apartments and 10 spaces, so they could have 8 deeded spaces and 2 spaces that remain open. I would imagine that would be the most likely scenario.
I have a question here on the, it mentions about a roof deck.
Mhm.
Could you touch a little bit on that, please?
So, as I mentioned, the building from the front presents itself with a gabled roof, which contains just a small room that is sort of like a multi-purpose room, and then a stair access and elevator access, and behind that, it becomes a flat roof. So from that multi-purpose room, you've got a door out to basically a fenced walkway. There's a rendering of it on the first sheet. And then that just separates into 8 dedicated terrace areas for each, so one for each unit. And they're just separated by low fence, not like really a privacy fence. They're just kind of separated by low, open railings, just to separate the areas. And the slope of the roof that we see at the front actually continues the length of the building, and the edges of the terraces are set in about 4.5 feet. So if you're standing at the edge of the terrace, there's still another 4.5 feet before the wall of the building. So that's just to make them a little more set back and removed visually from either the neighbor seeing up or occupants of the roof seeing down.
I think there's one participant.
I'm not too clear on Yes, my name is Andre Norris. Norris. Yes, so I'm not too clear on how many floors are there going to be. I see, and the letter says 3.5 floors. So is that, and you mentioned 2.5. So is it 3.5 or is it 2.5?
So, well, again, there's a technicality in the way our ordinance is written, so.
Before you continue, if I may, I know sometimes they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If I might, I'd like to show Mr. Norris,
Absolutely, yes, that would be,
rendering,
that'd be
because
awesome.
I don't think he's seen the rendering. Take a look.
Okay, the first time I've seen this, okay, so it's actually 1, 2, 3.
Right, so you have your garage level,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
have two levels of apartments, and then the area under the peaked roof, that's considered the half-story, and that really only extends back
It's nice, actually.
25 feet or so.
All right, thanks a lot. You're very welcome. Okay, all right, that answered my question. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman, no more questions of Mr. Kowalik?
No more questions? Anyone in the audience? Anybody in the audience with a comment? No one?
Okay. All right, thank you, members of the board. You know, there were two things that struck me when this application came to my office, and the first thing was what Mr. Norris said, which is when I saw the rendering of the building compared to what exists there now, I thought to myself, wow, that's a really nice improvement to the neighborhood. I hope that the board has had a chance to really look at that rendering and see with the pavers and the small balconies. I think it's a really nice improvement compared to the existing building. Although the existing building seems to be well-maintained, it's a very dated design, and I think that this would be a real improvement to the neighborhood. The other thing that struck me was the size of the lot. It goes back 180 feet. It's almost twice the depth of a normal lot. And so I think that hopefully the board will consider that in understanding that it's not something that's going to overburden the neighborhood. With that, I think Mr. Kowalik covered all of the relevant criteria, and I would ask that this application be approved as an improvement to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the board is going to go into closed caucus, and at the end, we'll come up with a vote. Thank you. Ms. Mulbari.
So, yes, I agree, this building does look very nice. I feel that, knowing that this street, you know, it's a one-way street with heavy pedestrian and vehicular presence, and I do feel going to an 8-unit building is going to create a negative impact, and I do not feel that I am in favor of this application.
Yes?
I like the design, it's a very good design, and the way it's depicted. It is a small block, and you had a 4-family there, now it's going to 8 units, and throughout Bayonne, parking is number one. And you are providing 10 spots plus bicycle parking. I do feel that I would be in favor of this application.
Yes?
Hi, I appreciate the explanation about the rooftop deck, or just the rooftop in general, because I was concerned for privacy. It seems as if you've built that into how this is being built, so that's great for, you know, the neighborhood that we have that privacy built in. I think the fact that you took into consideration increasing to 8 units, you took that into consideration and built that into the parking aspect, which I believe is a big issue in that area. I think that I will be voting, I know I'll be voting in favor of the application. I think it's a beautiful design. I think it's going to be a beautiful improvement to the block as well.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner.
I have to agree with those comments. I really think the development appears very thoughtful. You know, and in particular, especially, it's only, 3 blocks to the light rail. I take that path here sometimes when I get off at 34th. So it's really not that far of a walk. And I think providing adequate parking, this seems like an improvement to the neighborhood, so I'll be supporting this application.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will also be in favor of this.
Thank you. After reviewing the application and listening to the testimony, I like the design of the building. I think it's a big improvement for the area. Even though there was a 4-family there, this is going to be into an 8-family. I like the concept of it, though. I know parking is always an issue, but this is providing the necessary parking for this project. With that said, I would be in favor of this application.
And let's move into the affirmative. Z 26001, no, I'm sorry, Z25003, Advent 31 LLC, Site 34-36, East 31st Street, Block 159, lots 26 and 27 in the affirmative. Commissioner DeRosa.
I second. And aye.
All right?
Did some, oh, and now for the motion,
Now with the
okay.
motion.
Commissioner DeRosa.
Aye.
Commissioner Sis Galvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Frame.
Aye.
Commissioner Garvey.
Aye.
I vote no, and Chairman Panero.
All righty. Application has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to adoption of resolution, since item number 9 has already been adjourned. And that is Z25-005, the Boulevard 1224 LLC, 1224 JF Kennedy Boulevard, in Block 25, Lots 7 and 8. That is an application that was denied several months ago. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the
I'll
resolution?
make a motion for the adoption of the resolution of Z25005, the Boulevard 1224 LLC.
I'll second.
And for a vote, Commissioner DeRosa.
Aye.
Commissioner Sis Galvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Frame.
Aye.
Commissioner Garvey.
Aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Panero.
You can move to adjourn if you'd like.
All in favor?
Wait,
Oh.
the reso for,
Oh, that's right, we got those.
We did that at the beginning, under communications.
we adopted the report, do we now need to adopt the reso?
Can I get a motion and a second to adopt the report that we're forwarding to the planning board in this matter?
Move the motion.
Second it.
Thank you.
And for a vote, Commissioner DeRosa.
Aye.
Commissioner Sis Galvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Frame.
Aye.
Commissioner Garvey.
Aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Panero.
Aye.
Excuse me for being premature, now you can adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.